Finally get this piece off here. We gotta come over here and finish loosening up this nut so that we can pop out the ball joint with the fork. Now we're gonna get the fork in there, pop this thing out of here, just kind of squeeze it in there. And we're gonna hammer it in until it pops out, just like the other ones. Pretty easy. It's out. You can see, look at that. The cover popped, or the rubber cover broke, letting water and all kinds of stuff in there, but it's actually still pretty stiff. So if we could find a new cover for it, it might actually still work. It's the new one. The new one's a lot stiffer though. Actually, the new one, the bolt goes all the way through. So all we gotta do is just tighten down the nut and put the cotter pin on. We don't have to worry about trying to use that puller or anything, which is a good thing. That'll save some time. We got our new nut here. That's gonna go, it goes on the end of this bar here. This long bolt, whatever you want to call it. And important, make sure when you readjust the steering column part that the steering wheel inside is straight. It's level when the wheels are straight. Otherwise your steering wheel will be crooked. You'll have to have your steering wheel kind of turned at an angle to keep the wheels straight. Also, another reason it's going to need an alignment. So I'm going to put in the grease fitting now. I'll just snug it up a little bit with my pliers because you don't want to do it too much. It doesn't have to be torqued that much. Since this one's not angled, it doesn't matter. You just screw it in and that's it. Snug it down enough to where you can get the cotter pin in there. Okay, that's it. You can tell when it's tight enough just by the fact that you can get the cotter pin in like that, just like that. Then you're just going to come and bend each end so it can't pop out. Just like that. That's it, that's done. And we got to come over here, reattach this part. Try to get the column as straight as you can for when you line up these two. This set of ball joints didn't come with whatever this piece is called here, a new one, so we have to use the old one. In order to be able to fit it on the other side, I'm going to have to screw it all the way down to the end, which sucks. I finally got it screwed down enough so I can line these two up. I had to turn the rotor pull the rotor out a little bit, which basically turns the wheel, enough to get this thing here, and then as I tighten it, I'm gonna have to try to push the rotor in enough and to get the rotor straight looking as I can to hopefully fix the issue with the steering wheel being a little crooked when trying to hold the wheel straight. Wiggle it until I get the two to line up. Tricky to do. Okay, finally got it to connect. Oh, it's actually reverse thread to connect it back to this one. And as I'm doing that, it's pulling the rotor inside of the wheel well, which is essentially straightening out the wheel. Okay, then we're going to tighten down 2 nuts. Don't forget when you're done to grease this ball joint. Here's what it looks like with the new ball joint installed. It's very hard to get the grease gun on around this. I had to bang it out of the way. This thing here, I had to bang it out of the way so I could get the grease gun in there. So for this one, it would be easier to grease it before you install it. Just be careful because they're really easy to over-grease. This one was over-greased a little bit. As you can see, it's starting to squirt out. You don't want to put too much pressure on this rubber. That's all that's protecting the ball joint.